Hello, how are you? Monday the 30th of May. Here we are back for our weekly musings as usual. I hope you're keeping well. And I can't actually believe that we're about to go into a new month and that it's almost June. So crazy busy, energy, fast speed as always. But I hope you are okay and looking forward to a long bank holiday weekend if you're getting Thursday and Friday off this week for the Queen's Jubilee. So how has life been treating you since we last checked in? Last week we were all about taking charge of our lives. So did you do that this week? You know, have you been taking the advice from the cards each week? Do you check in with them and do you follow through on them? Because that's when it makes the difference. So hopefully you have. This week it's all about surrender and being creative and being mindful. So similar theme, the cards are really reinforcing this theme that we are powerful creators and that we have the ability to take charge of our lives in our way. So it's really important that you trust that and that you lean into it. Last week was taking charge of your life. The week before, I think, was being the artist of your life. And I think the week before was about being radically responsible. So there's an awful lot of this repetitive message coming through. And when I see that coming through in the cards, it means that it's really important. We've also been coming through a really cosmically intense period with the eclipse energy all the way through May. As we get through now, tomorrow on the 31st of May, we will close that doorway finally and we'll be able to then bed in and integrate all the energy that we have been going through and working with over the last month. We'll be able to integrate that and then move forward into June. So hopefully June will be a much lighter energy month for you in that respect. We also have a new moon today in Gemini. So here in the UK anyway, today / into tomorrow, we have a new moon. It's in the constellation of Gemini. It will give us a nice fresh blank page for which to set some nice new intentions. Always use the new moon to set intentions. And with it being in Gemini, there's a lighter spirit about it, a nice sort of the air blowing through and just allowing yourself to take that fresh new energy into the month of June. So set some intentions for yourself. Really put the foundations in place for your newly inspired life that you're going to design yourself. So use the new moon. Okay, so you've got that tonight. And then think about what you've learned. What have you learned all the way through May? What did the eclipses teach you? What did you have to let go of? What kept coming up for you? Were you seeing messages from the past? Remember that the eclipses work in 18-year periods, so it may have been relevant from back in 2004 up. You know, was there stuff from the past come up? What have you learned? What are you going to take forward now? And as a newly empowered person, what are you going to do to take that forward into June? Okay, so sit with it, make your plans. What knowledge are you going to integrate? What actions are you going to do? What are you actually going to set in place? So think about all that as you make your intentions under the new moon tonight. As I said, June's likely to be less intense than May. We had a lot of intense energy with the eclipses and I'm sure you all felt it. We've also got Mercury will be about to move direct again later this week. I think it's the 2nd or 3rd of June this week. It'll start to move direct again. So that will help you move forward with more clarity, might help contracts move forward. I'm hoping it helps contracts move forward because then my house move can actually be finalised soon. You know, and again, it's an exercise in patience there, isn't it? And trusting the divine order. But you will be able to move forward with more clarity and more ease once Mercury moves direct later this week. We also have several planetary bodies in the constellation of Taurus over the first sort of 12 to 13 days of June. So that will really help with earthy energy and bedding stuff in. So again, feeding into this energy of what have you learned in May and what intentions and foundations are you planting now for the rest, for the next 6 months of the year? What are you doing? What do you want your life to look like? What actions are you going to take? Because if you don't start really actually then taking action on the things you've learned, then it's pointless. So it's like I said to you at the start of this video, you know, if you don't start really actually then taking action on the things you've learned, then it's pointless. So it's like I said to you at the start of this video, if you don't start really actually then taking action on the things you've learned, then it's pointless. So it's like I said to you at the start of this video, if you don't start really actually then taking action on the things you've learned, then it's pointless. So it's like I said to you at the start of this video, if you don't start really actually then taking action on the things you've learned, then it's pointless. So it's like I said to you at the start of this video, if you don't start really actually then taking action on the things you've learned, then it's pointless. So it's like I said to you at the start of this video, if you don't start really actually then taking action on the things you've learned, then it's pointless. So it's like I said to you at the start of this video, if you don't start really actually then taking action on the things you've learned, then it's pointless. So it's like I said to you at the start of this video, if you don't start really actually then taking action on the things you've lear you know, when you're listening to these musings each week, do you listen to them and then forget about them, or do you actually apply what the cards have said to you? Okay, so have a think about that and be honest with yourself. As I say, so several planetary bodies in Taurus that will provide nice, stable and abundant energy for you to work with and to really dig those foundations nice and deep, and put those plans in place for your nice, new, inspired life as you move forward. Towards the end of this week as well, then we have Saturn moving retrograde, and it does that for 5 months. And that will be an exercise in patience and in really seeing the results of the work you've put in, because Saturn's a bit of a taskmaster and asks you to really put the work in. So again, we're probably going to see themes about being responsible and about actually doing the work and walking our talk. So just be prepared for that as it comes up. As always, you can get more information on all of that if you follow the lovely Elizabeth Peru on elizabethperu.com and sign up to her tip-off. You'll get daily inspiration every day about it. It's amazing. So what cards have we used this week? This week we are using Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reid. And this week we have got the Phoenix card, the Cosmos card, and the Hungry Ghosts card. So, all very exciting. So let's dive in and see what we've got. Okay, so the Phoenix, I'll just hold this up and let you, hopefully, can you see that? It's a bit shiny. So depicting obviously the phoenix rising from the flames. This card is very much about surrendering, letting go of stuff, surrendering to change, allowing new things to come in. We often have to actually allow it rather than holding it off. So what are you holding on to? Are you holding on to anything that really needs to go? Have you been through a dark night of the soul? Have you been struggling lately? Has life been stressful? You know, what's been going on for you over the last little while? Please take hope from this card that light is at the end of the tunnel. Okay, this is a card of rebirth and a card of emerging from the ashes, fully formed as the flaming phoenix, and then transforming into something new. So it's a lovely card of hope. But it reminds us that we have to let go of stuff. We have to let go of old energy before new energy can come in. So you can't hold on to everything really, really tightly and still expect new things to come in. You have to let go. And we see this in nature all the time. You know, there's a time for life and a time for death. So the cycles of birth, life, death, rebirth, life, death, rebirth. It's just a cycle, and it's the natural cosmic order of things. So when you hold on tight to something, you're actually going against nature. You're actually stopping the flow. You might remember at the very start of this year that I said my word for the year was going to be flow, and trying to stay in the flow. And I would urge you to do the same, because when you do that, the difficulties then just pass you. Yes, you're in them maybe for a little while, but then you flow through them rather than holding on tight. Whereas when you start to struggle and hold on and really try and control everything, then you block the flow, and you're actually working against nature and working against the energy, and that's why it's so difficult and feels so painful. So let go, and this card reminds you to let go. As human beings, we don't like change. We do find it difficult, don't we? When we have to accept that things need to be let go or changed. And you know, particularly if that's a, you know, something that we've become quite attached to, maybe a comfortable way of being, or maybe a job that we know is not right for us anymore, or a person that we know is not right for us. You know, something we may intuitively even know that it's time to move on, usually from a job or a position that you're in life, or a role that you've taken on. You tend to find that there comes a time when you know it's time to move on, but you still kind of hold on in the hope that it'll get better, and yet your body's screaming at you that you're really stressed and it's time to let it go. You know, this is where we have to trust the divine order and lean into it and say, okay, well, if I let this go, show me what's coming. You know, bring me new things. You know, we often sometimes feel as well that if we have to let something go, that it's a bit of a failure, but it's not. There's no such thing as a mistake. You're always learning, you're always growing from whatever you're involved with. So don't see it that way. You know, we're really hard on ourselves all the time, and if something doesn't work out exactly as we've expected it to, then we treat it as a failure. But this card reminds you that there's no such thing, okay? Energy never dies, it just changes form. So even when you let something go, it will revert and come back to you, but in a different way, in a better way, quite often. It's often like whenever we have to let things go, and then after we do it and the new stuff comes in, we go, oh my goodness, wasn't that the best thing that could have ever happened? But you can never say it at the time. So trust. This card's an exercise in trust, surrendering, allowing the new stuff to come in, and just trusting that the rebirth will come. And the second card really backs this up. So this is the Cosmos card, creativity and vastness. Okay, and it's depicts a face in the moon and lots of cosmic sort of artwork looking down onto the earth. And this card reminds us of the abundance of the cosmos. It's asking us to tap into our natural creativity. Represents the principle of infinity and the vastness of the energetic exchange of consciousness which influences all living beings. Remember, every intention that you set has powerful repercussions, profound energy impact all around you. It's not just you it impacts, it ripples. You can't see those ripples, but it ripples out. And we've been learning this over the last few weeks with the cards. They've been really hammering this message home that we are deeply entangled with each other and with the cosmos and the universe itself, and that anything that we do has impact far in the far reaches of space. You know, it's really, really important. You are powerful. You are a powerful creator. All of life is creation. All of life is being creative. So you are naturally creative, even if you don't think you are. What are you actually creating? Because we've covered this over the last few weeks and months, that you create your reality with the thoughts you think and the actions you take and the beliefs you have. So what actually are you creating? Nobody else is creating it, you're creating it. What are you creating? Where are your thoughts leading? Are you mindful and conscious of them, or do they just run amok in your head? So this card asks you to pay attention and to be the inspiration, to be the creator of your life. Take charge, just like last week. It also reminds us that we cannot possibly even ever expect to understand the deep sort of, the total depth of our energetic connection to this universe that we live in, to the consciousness. The universe is conscious and breathing. It's breathing us in and out. We're in the flow. And we're learning more and more about this sort of conscious entanglement, you know, as quantum physics and the scientists start to really dig into this sort of energetic reality. And they're starting to accept that the universe is actually conscious. Its consciousness is inherent in everything. You know, what the shamanic people have been saying for hundreds of thousands of years, the scientists are now finally catching up. You know, we're learning more and more about this true nature of our consciousness and how entangled we are, that things that we do on this planet have a profound impact on the furthest reaches in space. So think about that and think about how responsible you need to be then with your energetic imprint. You know, how amazing is it? Likewise, the energy that's coming in impacts us as well, which is why we're so impacted by planetary retrogrades and solar flares and different things. But think about this, how truly fabulous our world could be if we all were responsible for our energy and we all harnessed a vibration of compassion and love and joy, rather than fear and worry and anxiety. Think how different the world could be. So the card reminds us to keep going, to work on your own energetic imprint, to focus on those positive intentions and joy, to deal with what needs to be dealt with, to let go what needs to be let go of, and to put positive intentions and mindfulness into your day. Because as more and more of us start to feed into that higher vibration, then gradually we will hit a tipping point where it will just be the natural order. And surely that's what we all want. Hungry Ghosts, the last card. Okay. The fairies are depicted on this card in nature. This card is about reminding you of any obsessive thinking or any sort of scarcity consciousness or feelings of lack and being overly attached. Again, remember the theme this week has been very much about letting go of attachment and letting new stuff come in. So it's another reminder here to be really conscious of your thinking. Take an honest look inside your mind. Are you focusing on the past all the time, or are you obsessing about the future all the time? What are you doing? Are you being present? Are you here now? Or is your mind somewhere else? The card also asks you to look at your behaviour. You know, are you falling prey to addictive patterns and behaviour and repetitive patterns? Are you repeating same things over and over again but expecting the results to be different, or saying things like, it's okay, it'll be different this time, I've got this, I'm in control this time? That's often a statement of deep denial of the truth. And this card's asking you to surrender that way of thinking. Let go of these repetitive behaviours, let go of this sort of addiction to control, and surrender to your higher consciousness, to look deeply within. Okay? It's also about the distractions all around us that take us away from looking within, because we get so busy. We are always on the go. We are always looking for the next thing. We're never really present. So it's asking you to take some time to stop being sucked into the world. Okay? All that glitters isn't gold. You don't have to be in the middle of it all. Okay? So take some time out. Look beneath the surface. What can you see? What's deeper? What's inside? Instead of looking outside yourself for all these answers, can we look within? Because that's where they are. Okay? What does your heart really yearn for? Why are you here? Remember why you're here. You know why you're here. You know what it is you're on this planet to do. You might have just forgotten. So take some time out this week to consider that, and to consider why this card in particular has shown up. The hungry ghost. It doesn't show up very often. You know, we all get sucked in and drawn into other people's agendas and other people's needs and desires, and often that's in the workplace and out with family, and having all these different roles and responsibilities that we have to adhere to. Please carve out some time just for you. Find some little space in your schedule where you can just simply be. For me, I have to do that every single morning, otherwise I get scattered. I have to draw myself back into my centre and remind myself of why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I'm here, and taking some time out just to be mindful. So please do that. Lean into your heart space, find out what makes your soul sing, and then do it. Okay? Don't just think about doing it, actually do it, and watch the changes fall into place. So hopefully this has resonated with you this week. I'll be back again live next week. Next week will be my final live for a couple of weeks, because as you know, if you've been following me, I'm about to move house. It's finally happening. We are going into temporary accommodation for a couple of weeks. So during that time, my internet connection may be a bit hit or miss. So instead of putting added pressure on myself to be able to show up live, I'm going to pre-record some of the content for you for June. So you'll still get your weekly musings. I just will be live next week for the last time, but it matters not. I'll still be able to check comments. You'll still get your blog and your YouTube and all the rest of the various places where this shows up. And if you're on the mailing list, you'll get it out on a Monday night as well if you want it. So leave me a comment, let me know if the cards have spoken to you this week, and let me know what positive new intentions you're going to set under this new moon as we move into a new month. And I'll speak to you next week.